Hi guys, it's Suga and welcome back to another video. Today let's talk about the releases from June. So the books that I'm excited they're gonna be released in June. I'll do this series on my channel since the beginning. I'll talk about books that are coming out, showing a little bit what I'm interesting about, to know sometimes what is gonna be released. If you see something that is gonna be released that I didn't put here, it's because or I missed it, which is normal, or I haven't read if it's a sequel part of the series, so I didn't put here or it didn't caught my eye. So make sure that this is my personal choices. And let's start. This month is pretty small, 3, 6, 12 books I think. So it's not going to be a big month and it's not going to be a big video, I think. You know that I like to talk. So if you like to see me talk, like, subscribe, let's go to the releases. So the first that I have here is from in June 7 and it's called The Woman in the Library by Sulari Gentile. And its blurb says like that: in every person's story there is something to hide. So this calls out a little bit being a thriller and a mystery. I like it. The ornate reading room at the Boston Public Library is quiet until the tranquility is shattered by a woman's terrifying scream. Security guards take charge immediately, instructing everyone inside to stay put until the threat is identified and contained. While they wait for all clear, 4 strangers who happen to sit at the same table pass time in the conversation and friendship are struck. Each has his or her own reasons for being in the reading room that morning. It just happens that one is a murderer. Ooh, sounds interesting. So I love this one place sitting talk to discover the murder. I really like this type of genre. The cover is like, it's interesting. Definitely don't know if it's gonna be like my favorite of all time. It's pretty simple, but at the same time it's a thriller, which normally doesn't have like the most beautiful covers. But yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Now on June the 7th also you have The Botanist Guide for Parties and Poisons by Kate Kaveri. I'll say like it's like Kaveri, and it's a mystery historical thriller, but mainly what I caught my eye is poisons and it's chemistry. You know, I'm a sucker for books with chemistry or something alike. So the book says Saffron Heavenly is in the race against time to free her wrongly accused professor before he goes behind bars forever. It's set in London in 1923, where a research assistant attends a dinner party for University College of London, and while she expects to engage in conversations about the university large expedition to the Amazon, she doesn't expect Miss Henry, one of the professor's wives, to drop to the floor, poisoned by a known toxin. Dr. Maxwell, Saffron's mentor, is the main suspect, having had an explosive argument with Dr. Henry a few days prior. As evidence mounts against Dr. Maxwell and the expedition's departure draws nearer, Saffron realizes if she wants her mentor's name clear, she has to do it herself. So she joins the enigmatic Alexander Aston, a fellow researcher, and using her knowledge of botanics, she explores steamy greenhouse, dark gardens, and deadly poisons. So sounds awesome, I'm not gonna lie. Like poisons, killing anyone, it can be like a not very thrilling, but it's gonna be like more a mystery, which I'm in the mood for. But at the same time, like poisons, chemistry, botanic, it sounds so good. I'm really excited about this one. Definitely the cover is very appealing, you know, the Botanics Guide to Party and Poison, so have to be careful with the botanics. That's what I'm gonna say to you. Next book I want to talk about is Forging Silver into Stars by Bridget Cameron, and this is the first book in the Forging Silver into Stars series. When ancient magic tests a newfound love, a dark fate beckons. So it's a YA, which YA fantasy romance is not definitely my genre. Sometimes depends, but let's see how it is and let's see the synopsis. Magic has been banished in the land of Shields Shallow for as long as best friends Jax and Kaylin can remember. They once loved the stories of powerful matchsmiths and magical scavengers who could conjure fire or control ice, but now they've learned that magic only leads to danger. Magic is what killed Kaylin's parents, leaving her alone to raise her younger sister. Magic never helped Jack's once leg was crushed in an accident that his father has been punishing him for ever since. Magic won't save either of them when the tax collector come calling, threatening to take their homes if they can't pay what they owe. Meanwhile, Jax and Caitlin are astonished to learn magic has returned to Shiloh Shallow, in the form of Max Smith, who's now married to their queen. Now the people of Shiloh Shallow are expected to allow dangerous magic in their midst, and no one is happy about it. When a stranger rides into the town offering Jax and Caitlin silver into exchange of holding secret message for an anti-magic faction, the choice is obvious. Even if it means they be heading into a plot to destroy their new king, if it's a risk they're both willing to take. That is until another visitor arrives and some Lord Techno, the king's courier, the man who's been tasked with discovering who's conspiring against the throne. Ooh, sounds interesting, you know, like comes one, let's help, and then comes the other investigating. I really like, but I want to see if it has real magic or it's gonna be like just on the surface of the magic, like very just a little bit more of dust, like a fantasy world that has magic but you never see it, and that's going to be a very down point for me, because I really like to see the magic happening and not just like knowing there is magic. But yeah, sounds interesting. The covers are both stunning. I really prefer this one that I put here. Also on June 7, I have Hal Followed with Us, by Andrew Joseph White. Prepare to die, his kingdom is near. This book is about the apocalypse. I love the cover. The cover is just stunning, you know, and I have a NetGalley arc, if I'm not mistaken, for this book. So 16-year-old trans boy Benji is on the run from the cult that raised him, the fundamentalist sect that unleash Armageddon and decimate the world's population. Desperately, he searches for a place where the cult can get their hands on him, or more importantly, on the bioweapon they infected him with. So he's a ticking bomb. That's interesting, right? Like, he's a bioweapon and he's a ticking bomb and he's running away. Nothing can go wrong, right? But when cornered by monsters born from the destruction, Benji is rescued by a group of teens from the local Ashton LGBTQ+ center, affectionately known as the ALC. The ALC leader's Nick is gorgeous, autistic, and deadly shot, and he knows Benji's dark secrets. The cult's bioweapon is mutating him into a monster deadly enough to wipe humanity from the earth once and for all. Still, Nick offers Benji shelter among his ragtags group of queer teens, as long as Benji can control the monster and use its power to defend the ALC. This is set to be a horror book. LGBTQ, as you can see, I'm really excited. But what is Nick's hidden agenda? He wants to use the bioweapon? I'm curious. You know, this is the part that I get curious, is when, you know, when you get to this point where you see something is unveiling and you want to see why. Like, you have one trying to find, one with a secret agenda. Who you can trust, it's very important. Also on June 7, we have We All Fall Down by Rose Swasbo, which is a fantasy young adult queer. This is the first of a duology, a dark fantasy. Yeah, in River City, where magic used to thrive is now fading. The witches once ruled the city along with the powerful king have become all but obsolete. The city's crumbling government is now controlled primarily by the new university and teaching hospital, which has grown to take over half of the city. And let me say, the cover is just stunning, like monsters, like fighters, I don't know, but the cover is just amazing. Moving between the decaying old city and the ruthless new, four young queer people struggle with daily hazards of life: work, school, dodging ruthless cops and unscrupulous scientists, not realizing that they have been selected to play in an age-old drama that revives the flow of magic through their world. When a mysterious death rocks their fragile peace, the four are brought into each other's orbit as they uncover a deeper magical conspiracy. Oh, sounds interesting. Who is dying and why they are running? It's like mutations, but scientists, like new world, like being like the advancity and the world being like magic. That's, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds really interesting, up of my alley. I'm gonna see, because it sounds really cool. We move to June 14 finally, and we have here a thriller. And There He Keep Her by Joshua Moeling. Like, with this title, it's gonna be something that is locked on a cave or on a attic, and I love this. They thought he was an helpless old man. They were wrong. So, I love it. When two teenagers break into a house on a remote lake in a search of prescription drugs, what started as a simple burglary turns into a nightmare for all involved. Emmett Burr has secrets. He's been keeping it in his basement for more than 2 decades, and he will do anything to keep his past from being revealed. As he gets the upper hand on his tormentors, the lines blur between victim, abuser, and protector. Personal tragedy has sent former police officer Ben Park back to small Minnesota town of Sandy Lake in a search of a fresh start. Now, a sheriff's deputy, Parker, is leading the investigation into the missing teens, motivated by a family connection. As clues dry up and times run out to save them, Park is forced to reveal his own secrets and dig deep to uncover the dark past of the place he now calls home. Ooh, sounds good. I don't know. It sounds good, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. This is definitely up my alley. Sounds very much Robert Rinza, Peter Swanson. Those type of books. I'm really excited. Ooh, like, do we have multiple POVs? If we don't have multiple POVs, the book's gonna be amazing because we're gonna have to hide. Now, on the 21st of June, we have Loophole by Nas Knut, and it's Your Wish is Granted. The YA debut is equal part broken heart, love story, epic myth retelling, and a world journey Rome to find home. So it has like a myth retelling. I'm already excited about this because, I love myths, and I love to discover new stories, and the cover is just gorgeous. If you more you look, more you see the details. So I would recommend for you to see more of these details. Sai is a timid 17-year-old queer Indian Muslim boy who has been placed all his bet at happiness on his boyfriend Farouk, who then left him to try and fix the world. Sai has now chicken to take the plunge and travel with him, and now is stuck into a dead-end coffee shop job. All Sai can do is wish for another chance, although he never expected his wish to be granted. So when a mysterious girl slaps into the front entrance of the coffee shop, Sai helps her up and on her way. But when the girl offers him 3 wishes in exchange for his help, after proving she can grant at least 1 wish with the funds transfer of millions of dollars into Sai's pitiful struggling bank account, a whole new world possibilities open up. Is she magic or just rich? And when his father kicks him out after he's outed, does Sai have the courage to make his way from LA across the Atlantic Ocean to lands he never even dreamed he could ever visit? Led by his potential otherworldly new friend, he can track down his missing Farouk for one last desperate chance to rebuild his life and refinding love. So I hope he doesn't go after the boyfriend and he finds someone better. We moved to a book that is inspired on a play. That's why I'm so happy. Suddenly I didn't got any arc, but it doesn't matter. Which is Epically Earnest by Molly Horan, and this is a LGBTQ comedy of errors inspired by Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest, which I made in theater as local theater. I did play, and I play Ernest, so it's a very deeply story in my heart. So I'm really excited about this one. James Grady's claim to fame is what she has won first viral internet sensation, the Bad Baby. Discovered as 1 year old in an oversized Gucci bag by her adopted father by a train station. Now in her senior year of high school, Jane is questioning whatever she wants to look for her bio family due to a loving but deeply misguiding push from her best friend Algie, while also navigating for all consumption crush on his cousin, beautiful way of her league Gwen Farfay. And while Jenna never thought of herself as an earnest type, she needs to be honest with her parents. Augie, Gwen, but mostly herself if she wants to make her life truly epic. With a wink toward Oscar Wilde beloved play Epically Earnest, explores the complexity of identity, the many forms family can take, and the importance of being earnest. Or it says here yourself, I take the liberty of earnest. I don't know, I love Typically Earnest. I love the importance of being earnest, so not gonna lie, has that vibes, definitely is gonna be up of my alley. Let's see, because it sounds really good. Now, on the sides of thriller, I have Riley Sager, the House Across the Lake. I haven't read anything about from the author. I know there's some of his books are just or amazing or a bit on the terrible side. Some people don't like a lot of his books, but I also heard like Home Before Dark. I don't know if Survive the Night. No, I think Lock Every Door is very good. So he has some hits, but he also has some miss. So this is his new book. I think everyone knows about this by now, but and this comes out also on June 21st. Casey Fletcher, a recent widow actress trying to escape streak of bad press, has retreated to peace and quiet of her family's lake house in Vermont. Armed with a pair of binoculars and several bottles of liquor, she passed the time watching Tom and Catherine Royce, the glamorous couple who live in the house across the lake. They make a good view. Attached inventor, Tom is rich, and a former model, Catherine is gorgeous. One day on the lake, Casey saves Catherine from drowning, and the two strike up a building friendship. But the more they get to know each other, the longer Casey watches. It becomes clear that Catherine and Tom's marriage is not perfect, and placid as it appears. When Catherine suddenly vanishes, Casey becomes consumed with finding out what happened to her. In the process, she uncovers eerie dark truths and the true tale of voyeurism and suspicion in the story of guilt, obsession, and how looks can be deceiving. So, what I got from this is a little bit of how does it called? I'm not A Simple Favor, with the movie with Andy Kendrick and Blake Lively. I think I didn't like so much the book, or I didn't like so much the movie. I don't recall, but it didn't sound anything like fantastical. But this strikes me a lot of that. But let's see if the plot twist or the story is more interesting. But it really, when I start reading like we strike a friendship and then she disappears, I'll be like, this sounds a lot like The Simple Favor. So yeah, but let's give it a try because everyone deserves a try. So on June 28th, I have The Dream Runners by Sveta Tankar. I have this pre-order from Waterstones. I'm gonna collect it in July when I go to London, meet my friend. Finally, I'm gonna meet him, and he has all my books. So nice. So 7 years ago, Tanvi was spirited away to the subterranean realm of Nagalok, where she joined the ranks of the Dream Runners, human children freed from all memories and emotions, charged with harvesting mortal dreams for the consumption of the Naga court. Valand knows the different side of the Naglok. As apprentice to the influential Lord Naya, he shapes the Dream Runners into the kingdom's most tantalizing communities. And Naya has larger plans for these mortal dreams. With the Dreamsmith of Vanka's talent, he believes he can use them to end the war between the Nagas and their ancient foes, the Garudas. But when one of Tanvi's dream harvests goes wobbly, she begins to remember her life on Earth. Panicked and confused, she turns to the mortal in Nagalok who can help, Venkat. And as they search for answers, a terrifying truth begins to shape, one that could turn the Naga's realm of dreams into a land of waking nightmare. So it sounds really cool. It has something to do with mythology, I see here on Goodreads. So I'm really excited about what it's gonna be about, how it's gonna be like tasting dreams. I'm really excited about this book because, not gonna lie, the cover is stunning, but the book sounds also so good. I'm gonna be Like, I don't promise when I get I'm gonna be read it like right away. You know how I am, but I promise I will read as soon as I can. And the last book I have to show you for the month of June, it's on June 28th, and it's The Song That Moves the Sun by Anna Bright. Rora is tired of being afraid. Exhausted by a mind that sees everything through the prism of fear, Claudia will do anything to ease her best friend's anxiety, but lately her own life has been spiraling out of control. This is a fantasy YA, just to be sure. A little bit of romance. It should be the two of them against the world, but the rest of the world has been descending into chaos too. Every day brings increasingly alarming news. Waves of accidents, surging crime statistics, natural phenomena scientists can explain. It seems that like something has gone seriously wrong with the universe. Then they met two boys at the concert and discovered that something has. Major and Amir come from one of the 9 secret cities of the sphere, ruled by the magic of the astrological signs. They say there is a disruption in the magical symphony that maintains the balance between the worlds, and they need help. To find the source of disharmony, Rora and Claudia will embark into a whirlwind journey of secrets, romance, and powerful truth about themselves, each other, and for 2 long explorers named Dante and Beatrice, who were among the first to chart this course of towards the stars. So it sounds very interesting, this thing about the different worlds and the astrological signs and the stars and the balance. Definitely it's gonna be like very focused on romance maybe and less on the fantasy side, but it sounds interesting. It caught my eye, the cover is stunning, and yeah, I'm really excited about this one. So guys, these are the releases that caught my eye for June. Tell me in the comments which books are you excited about that's gonna be released this month of June. If you like my content, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I have affiliate links below if you want to support the channel, and also a scribd link if you like to use scribd for listening to other books or read ebooks. I have my book clubs links down below if you want to join the Genre book club or the quarterly book club. The links are down below. I post videos at least once a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays or Sundays, and I see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.